Hi everyone, this is Tony from Sykes Studios. This is part 2 of the Captain America shield creation in Photoshop CS5. If you haven't seen part 1, the annotation should take you to it and there'll be a link in the description. So continuing where we left off in the last video, we've got our basic shield structure, but it looks kind of flat, so now it's time to add some pop to it and give it that gritty, realistic look. So the first thing we're going to do is, with our top layer selected here, we're going to hit Control D to make sure we don't have anything marqueed. So our top layer selected, we're going to go ahead and add an adjustment layer, levels, and our first value for our shadows is going to be 103. Our middle value of 1.00 we're going to keep. And let's go with 232 on the last value. You know what, maybe lighten it up just a hair more. We'll go with 204. Okay? Alright, now we've got that set, and that's actually looking really good. We're going to go ahead and move on to some actual layer styles that we're going to work with. So we're going to start with our first layer here, shape 1. I'm going to go ahead and double click on that and bring up our layer styles. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and add a drop shadow. Alright, we're just going to leave the settings the way they are, except for here we're going to actually go ahead and change the contour to cone inverted. Alright, and we're going to click anti-alias. Okay, we're going to add an inner shadow for that, and we're going to change the contour mode to right here on the end. We're going to get Gaussian on that, and anti-alias as well. We're going to go ahead and change the opacity to 90, and we're going to change the blending mode to linear burn. Okay? Alright, so we're going to turn off this 120 angle here that's actually pretty far, and let's go with, say, 45. Okay? And let's go with a size of about 3. Alright. And let's jump back up to drop shadow and let's change that blending mode. I think it'll look better as a linear dodge. Let's turn off the global light and actually go ahead and choose -4, and we'll set the size to 4. I think that looks better overall, and we'll go with an opacity of 70. Yeah, I definitely think that's starting to look much better. Okay, so now what we're going to do is go ahead and go down here to stroke. And with our stroke, we're going to go ahead and set our size to 2. And we actually want it to be an inside stroke. Okay. We're going to leave everything else the same, normal, everything like that's fine. So go ahead and choose OK. Alright, now let's go ahead and right click on our layer, and we're going to copy that layer style. Now we're going to skip the next layer and go straight up to the third layer, right click, and let's paste that layer style. Alright, now we're going to come up to the next layer above that, and we're going to paste that layer style again. And finally, the blue layer, we're going to do the same thing, paste layer style. So as you may notice, there's some extra black here around these areas, but we're going to fix that. So let's double click on our shape 1 copy 3, and let's go to drop shadow, and we can make some adjustments to fix that. See, distance, size, stroke. We can actually bring back the opacity a little bit on that. Okay, we're going to do the same thing here. I got a stroke. We're just gonna ease off some of the opacity there, and the drop shadow will do the same, because every layer is a little bit different, so you have to make certain changes. Now we'll go back up to our blue layer, layer 3, right? And we're just going to do the same thing. We're just going to make a few changes with the drop shadow here, the inner shadow. Okay, and that looks good. Alright, now that we've made all those changes, it's actually time to start applying some textures. So I've provided all the links to the textures you'll need in the description. So we're going to go ahead, after you save them, we're going to start with Metal 1. Okay, choose OK, and we're going to grab our rectangular marquee because it'll open up in a new window. Select it all and hit Control C to copy it, or go up to Edit and choose Copy. Come back over to our shield, go ahead, make sure the top layer is selected and choose Paste. Alright, we're going to select our Move tool, turn on our Show Transformation controls, and we're just going to make this bigger than the actual shield by just a little bit. Okay? And it's a high-res texture, so it's not going to distort or look crazy. And so now let's go ahead and change the blend mode to soft light, and you're going to see something amazing happen. You can already start to see the dirt and the grime, you know, that would be on the shield already, and that really helps make it look more authentic. So the next step, we're going to go ahead and open up Metal number 2. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to grab it with our marquee, copy it, Control C or Edit Copy, come back to our shield and make sure we have our top layer selected, and we're just going to paste. And let's go ahead and drag it up just barely bigger than the shield itself. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and accept that, turn off the transformation controls. Let's make sure we have our white selected, and we're going to grab a soft brush. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and go with about 600 pixels, and right in the center, go ahead and click a couple times. Alright, go back to your Move tool, and so now that you've done that, we're actually going to change the color mode to the blend mode to color burn. And you can see now it's really kind of starting to come together how dark and gritty it is, but we're not done yet. We're going to move the opacity back. Let's go with about 28, 29, 28's good. Okay. And you can see the dark gritty texture that's forming around it. Now this next part is going to be a little tricky, so I'm going to go slow and let you see, because we have to actually make a custom gradient for what we're going to do next. So now I've pre-made it, but I'm going to show you how to make it. Okay, so what we're going to do is go over here where our paint bucket tool is and choose gradient tool. Now at the top you've got different options. You've got radial, angle, and so on, reflected. We're going to make sure we choose angled gradient. Click on that. Okay, then you're going to click on this box here, and as you can see, I have made a special gradient here that basically just alternates between black, white, black, white, black, white. And let me kind of show you how to do that. So we're going to start out with a normal gradient, and all you have to do to make a new selection is just right click. Alright, so now you have this here, so we're going to start out with a little on the end, a little black, okay, and we're going to right click, we'll double click there, change it to black, and smooth it out. Alright, we're going to click again, change it to white, okay, and we'll right click again, change it all over to black. So as you can see, we've got a pattern forming here, and I'm going to right click again, I'm going to change the color to white, make my adjustment. We want to kind of make it even. Okay, we want to go to black, okay, and again with the white, and we just want to make some adjustments. Now ultimately you want to have 9 of these all the way across, 9 across the bottom, and you want this pattern: black, white, black, white, black, white, black, white. And you can come up here and name it whatever you'd like. So Captain G for gradient. So that's the Captain gradient. Go ahead and choose new, and it's going to put it in the list right here for you, Captain G. Okay, so now we've made our gradient. We've got it selected here. We've got our gradient tool. We're set to angled. We've got our special gradient selected, and if you're not sure how to select it, just click here, scroll down, and you can see, you can double click to make sure you got the right one if you want, or click on it, you'll see how it changes here. Okay, choose OK.